Hey there, this is Michael with Buffalo Finances, and I hope you're having a great day. I keep getting text messages from banks. I applied for a bank loan online. I think in this case, I was going through prosper.com. I was just checking out bank loans. There's always stuff that I can use funds for to deploy for. And we're going into a busy season. I want to make sure I have working capital on hand. So it's what prompted this particular interaction. And I do this every so often, especially when I get emails or requests for really favorable financing terms. Those really attract me. So what's a financing term that's attractive? 0% financing, very attractive. Um, uh, long payment history or long payment amount, maybe a big financing like $1 million. That sounds very attractive. So once you sign up for one of these one time, you get flooded. You get emails, you get text messages. It's very annoying. So I don't recommend you ever do that because this is what happens. So they sent me this. Here's an example. They sent me a text message. You probably can't read it, so I'll read it to you. Hi, we can fund your business the same day we get an offer. No fees involved. Terms up to 48 months with early payoff discounts. How much are you looking for? They're just assuming the close. Very sales psychologist of them, which is for me is also annoying. Here's one that prompted my response from them. So here's one that says, "Hi, we can get your business up to $10 million. It can be wired the same day as approval. Where should I send the info to?" So I get so many of these, and normally I ignore them. And I ignore them because I have followed up with these companies and responded and got on calls with them, and they try to get you to just sign up with them, which I think is crazy. They never give you enough information to even make a decision. They basically just say, we can get you $50,000 or $100,000, or we can get you this $120,000 loan, and we can fund you within the next 24 hours. And that's all. That's what they push, and they hook me with these low interest statements. They say we can get you a 5% or 3% or 10%. 10% is still not low, but it's when you go to the bank, it's going to be about that same price, and this is going to be fast. So I always ask them, what's the interest rate? And they won't tell you. They will not tell you their interest rate. Okay. So here's what I'll just jump to the conclusion. If you want to keep hearing, listen, you can. I responded to this particular person who said they can wire me $10 million the same day as approval, which is definitely too good to be true kind of claim. Too good to be true. I responded and said, okay, so I'm going to do weekly payments with you and an interest rate of 50% or higher, because that's what this works out to be whenever I've gone to the end of the conversation. And I don't know why I'm going to have a different conversation with these people. They're all the same. If they're offering you fast funding, they're going to ask you for 3 months worth of bank statements. They're going to sign you up for weekly payments back to them. They're not going to tell you what the interest rate is. And they're working on speed. They're trying to find people that have such a desperate need for money that they're going to sign up for stupid, unfavorable terms. So this person responded to my statement of weekly payments and interest rate of plus 50%. Like, is that what you're offering me? Is that what you're really offering me? And they said, rates as low as 9%. I'll send you some information and we can get an offer by today. What's your email? So they ignored the interest question, or they answered the interest question by saying it's as low as 9%. And they ignored the weekly payments. So what does that tell you? That it's weekly payments. And if you aren't familiar with how financing and interest rates work, there's this magical concept, this magical thing we deal with called compounding interest. And some really smart person once said, I think it's Albert Einstein, who compounding interest is the most powerful principle in the universe. And whoever understands it earns it. And whoever doesn't understand compounding interest pays it. So compounding interest is based on time, really. So if you haven't, let's say when we talk about interest rates, we normally talk about the annual number. So the annual interest rate of prime, right? Like right now, it's 5.5%. Like that's what the annual interest rate is. And you can slice that up and you're going to have a smaller monthly and weekly interest rate. So if you want a high rate of return, you have to get money back faster. I'm not gonna be able to explain this very well words wise. I'll have to show another time, like an actual visualization of it. But if you, on the surface, some of these things look like they're reasonable. Like maybe it is 9% over is how much, like 9% is how much interest you pay. But that payment cycle might be over 6 months, which is not a year, and it's going to be every single week. So that 9%, like immediately double it, because it was only 6 months. So you're paying 9% interest within 6 months. So double that. Now it's really 18% annualized. And oh yeah, you're not paying it back. That would be if you paid it back just at 6 months. Like if you had the money, you had to hold on to it, and then at the end of the 6 months you paid it back. Then that would be 9% of interest, but 18% annualized. but you're not paying it back one time at 6 months. You're paying it back every single week for 6 months, which how many payments is that going to be? I'm going to have to do the math. 6 months times 4.3. That's 26 payments. 26 payments. Your interest rate isn't 9%. It's not 18%. It's not even like 25%. It's like 50%. Your interest rate is like 50% when you pay back weekly. Never, ever do that. Never, ever do that. Don't ever do that. And they get you because they just ignore the real part of the conversation. Whenever someone's going to ignore the real part of the conversation, run away from them. Just like the Bible says that the gazelle runs from the lion, you run from the lender because they are predators. They're trying to take advantage of you. You sign up with them, you're going to be in bigger problems than you had before. And then the only people that are going to try to help you out are more predators. And then before you know it, and I've seen this, you've got 10 lenders, let's say 5 lenders, more likely. I've seen 5 lenders, and you owe all of them ridiculous amount of interest, and you're going to have to go bankrupt. That's the solution. And they don't care about you. They don't care at all. So if somebody says they can get you a ridiculously low interest rate, they can do fast funding, and they only need 3 months worth of bank statements, head for the hills. Get out of there. All right. This has been Michael with Buffalo Finances. I hope that you don't get scammed, and there's other ways to get cash flow into your business without selling your soul. All right. Have a great day, and God bless.